Okay, we got the Iron Bowl at home this week. I know all of our players and our coaches are extremely excited about that. You know, you look at last year's game and first half. I thought we played a good first half. It got away from us in the second half. We're going to have to do a good job of really playing 4 quarters of football come Saturday. You know, when you look at them this year offensively, one of the best in the country. One of the more explosive offenses, if not the most explosive offense. You look at the receivers; they can all take short ones a long way. The running backs are very impressive. Do a good job running, but they also do a good job catching the ball out of the backfield. And then, of course, their offensive line is one of the best in the country. They do have a new quarterback, but the games he's played, he's been efficient, and looks like he has a good grasp of the offense. You know, when you look at their defense, one of the top-ranked defenses in our league again. Real impressed with the guys they have on the back end. They've got very good ball skills and can really run. And then special teams, really what stands out to me is their punt returner, Waddle. He's dynamic. He's changed games. He's changed field position. You turn on the tape, and it's explosive play after explosive play. So we're going to have to do a super job, dealing with him. This will be our fifth top 10 opponent, so the good thing is it won't be a shock to our system, and really hoping that'll be an advantage for us. It'll be Senior Day, which is always special, to honor this group that has done such a good job for us. And then I want to congratulate Derek Brown, finalist for 6 national awards. He chose to come back, and he's had his best season. He's playing as good a football as anybody in the country. And, I know that Heisman is usually for offensive players and all that, but there can't be too many better players around the country than him. So real excited for him. But, overall, we're excited the Iron Bowl, and we're excited that we're playing at home. Questions?
Sometimes, the schedule is the schedule. As you mentioned, you faced a lot of top 10, top 15 teams this year. One could argue it's one of the toughest ones in Auburn history. Just what do you make of this season, and then going forward, whether it's going to get easier or tougher?
Well, I think you got to focus on the Iron Bowl right now, and the fact that we are battle tested. We played some of the best teams in the country, and so we've hung in there. We had chances to win, some of those. So I think that really helps us. And then, you look at the future. I mean, we've got some outstanding young guys. I know the focus has been on the seniors, which have done a super job, but we've got some young guys that can flat out play. So the future's real bright, real excited for the future, and we'll cross that bridge as far as the schedule goes, next year.
That's a lot different than a few years ago, but most people now talk about Alabama's offense. What do you see out of Alabama's defense?
Yeah, well, like I said, statistically, they're one of the best in the league. They play a lot of guys up front. They have some young linebackers, but they're very talented. But really what stands out to me, their secondary is very impressive to watch. They got very good ball skills. They can all run. They all tackle well, and, they hadn't given up a whole lot of explosive plays.
Where have you seen Bo progress since that Oregon game?
What's that?
Where have you seen Bo progress since that Oregon game?
I think it's overall just understanding of our offense, having a better feel for his teammates, and just all the above, and he's learned this year against the toughest defenses probably in all of college football, like we talked about with the schedule, and this is another one. But that really helps your learning curve and accelerates learning, and I think he's got a good command of our offense and and the personnel that we have around him.
Gus, if I count it right, he's got like 137 passes without an interception, and hasn't thrown but one since the Florida game, and that was the long pass to LSU. But how difficult is that for a freshman when he throws it as much as he's thrown it?
Yeah, I think that says a lot about his decision making. Protecting the football is the number one thing, especially when you're playing in big games, and he's really allows you to call plays and trust the quarterback that we're not going to turn it over. That's probably the biggest thing, but that is very impressive, especially for a young quarterback with the defenses that he's went against.
Other than Oregon and all these top 10, top 15 opponents you face, what has been the common thread that you guys have come up just short?
Yeah, when you look back at close games, there's a fine line between winning and losing, and a lot of times it's either one or two plays, impact plays when the game's on the line that you have to make to win the game, and that's probably the thing that has stood out the most. We've been very close, we had opportunities. You look back, there's one or two things, and if you would have made those plays, we would have had a good chance to win, or we'd have won the game. So, you know, when you're playing, you know, it's the top teams, you got to make plays to win the game, and so that's really our goal for this one, and you know that we'll need to do that.
Is it the law of averages at some point that you come out on the right side of the big plays? When you get those?
I'd like to think so.
So you believe in a football guy?
I believe in God. I don't believe in a football God.
It's not a football guy?
No,
Football guy?
no, I've never been asked that one.
When you think of the seniors that you're going to honor, what are some things about this class?
Oh, well, first of all, they're outstanding young men with outstanding families, and have represented Auburn super, you know, off the field, on the field, and some very, very talented football players too. So, you know, I say it every year. You get close to guys, and you're with them 3 and 4 years, some of them 5 years, and you know, this is their last rodeo, you know, last home game, which is always special. Then you throw the Iron Bowl on top of that, and it's as good as it gets. And I know that you can just sense our leadership, and you can really sense the young guys really rallying behind them, knowing how important this is to them and how important their legacy is, you know, especially a game like this.
We're almost at the end of the road here with your season back as play caller. How do you think you've done? How's that gone?
Yeah, we've at times we've played good football. At times, like I said, we've come up a little short, and you know, feel good about going into this one. We need to play well on offense. We know that, and really looking forward to getting out there with a bunch.
There hasn't been a strictly defensive player that's been Heisman finalist since 2012, I think.
That's right.
What do you think sets Derek apart then?
You know, I mean, I said that you usually don't have defensive guys, but if you just look at who the best players are, he needs to be in that conversation. So I don't care if it's a kicker or a defensive player or an offensive player. He's dominant, and he's a game-changing type player, and so that's the reason I just wanted to mention that. But yeah, I knew the fact that that doesn't happen much.
As an offensive coach, how do you deal with a guy like him if you're game planning?
Oh, yeah, you game plan. I mean, you got a game plan around him, and it really starts with him. And you know, when you go against him in practice, it's the same deal. I mean, he's a disruptor. Really raised his level. He had a good year last year, but he's really raised his level, playing with confidence, and he's disrupting things. And he really makes people around him, you know, better.
In the big games this year, you guys have had a good bit of scoring opportunities. You just haven't been able to finish those drives. What do you do kind of in practice or trying to game plan to try to – is there anything you can do?
Well, it's about execution in the moment. That's kind of what the question Brandon asked. I mean, you got to execute in the moment, and how you do that, you do on the practice field, and just keep repping, and you know, get more confidence, and you get more confidence by reps in practice. That's when you get better, and that's what we've constantly tried to do. And a lot of things carry over. You know, even though you may have not called something or only called something once in practice reps, you know, you want to make sure and call the things that your players feel comfortable with, that they've repped in practice time and time again, and been successful. And so, you know, that's part of it. And, you know, we'll need to hit those when we have those opportunities and score touchdowns.
You still play.
Alabama's got 19 plays at 40 or more yards.
Yeah.
Only given up 2.
Yeah.
How tough is that?
Yeah, I think you just said it. I mean, you know, they're the most explosive, or one of the most explosive offenses in the entire country. They've given up very few, and I think the back end guys have a lot to say for that. I mean, they've done a good job in their one-on-one opportunities, and they've not given up that many.
You said last night.
How tough is it to coach against Nick Saban? What makes his team so hard to beat?
Well, they're first of all, they're talented. They're always going to be one of the most talented teams in the country, or the most talented. And you know, he does a good job coaching them. But you know, this is what the 10th Iron Bowl I've been part of, and so you know each other pretty good, and we'll see what happens.
Gus, how different is it, just the whole atmosphere for this game compared to any other game?
Yeah, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like Iron Bowl's different. It was, you know, when I first got here, everybody would talk about it, about how special it was, and you go, okay, yeah, but you got to experience it. It's one of those things that all you got to do is experience it one time. You know, whether you're a coach, player, or fan, and it's different. And you know, it's real special. And I feel blessed. This will be my 10th one.
Yes, you talked about avoiding tendencies, predictable situations. How important is that now at the end of the year where teams have so much film?
Yeah, it's very important. No, there's no doubt, especially the more talented team you're playing. I mean, you're going to have to try to keep them off balance, and that's a big factor.
Mike Horton and J.J. Wilson ready to go.
Yeah, both of them practiced yesterday, and both of them will practice again today.
Was yesterday a full-blown practice?
Yeah, yesterday was like our regular Sunday practice, so it was just an hour practice. We just tried to stay in routine. We switched our off day to a regular day, and we got more time since we're not in school. So same schedule we've been doing. Today will be our big work day, our regular Tuesday. We'll get back on track, and we'll have a normal Wednesday tomorrow, and then Thursday we'll get up early and have our Thursday practice and get the guys out around noon so they can spend time with their families and everything that goes with that.
Do you think of JJ as a wideout now?
He's very flexible. I mean, he can put his hand down and can block, and then we can split him out. You've seen us move him around outside, inside, so he gives you a lot of flexibility, to move him around.
And you like it because he catches the ball well.
Yeah, he does. He does a good job of catching the ball, and he does a good job blocking too. I mean, he's done a very solid job with that.
Like a wideout, right?
What's that?
He doesn't look like a wideout. I mean, he's a former linebacker.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you knew that.
I did know that. Yeah, I'm impressed you knew that.
You mentioned him earlier, but Mac Jones being the starting quarterback in
Yeah.
this game for Alabama, what have you seen out of him? How does that kind of the matchup change maybe a little bit?
Well, I think if you look, I mean, he's got unbelievable talent all around him. And we've got the game or two on him and all that, and you can see he has a good understanding, of their offense. So you just got to predict, how much they're going to put on him, how they're going to utilize him, and everything that goes with that.
It probably sounds crazy outside, but a team that's averaging 340 yards passing, but how important is it to make them one-dimensional and not allow them to
I think that's a goal, but and they're very good at running the football too now, and I think you can see that by their average, and so you definitely gotta stop the run, and you got to stay away from the big plays, and that's the challenge on the big plays, because you look at their explosive plays that somebody just talked about, and probably half of them are short ones that went long, so very, very explosive offense.
You mentioned this being your 10th Iron Bowl. I can guess which one's your favorite, but what's the most heartbreaking one you've been through?
Anytime you lose to them, it doesn't feel good. But which one would you say was my favorite?
I would say the kick six, 2013.
2010 was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So that's
Yep.
your favorite over the kick six.
I liked it.
You like it better than kick six.
I like both of them.
Was it a throwback?
Hmm?
Was it a throwback? Is that your favorite call?
The throwback?
Yeah.
Which one?
The Lutzy Kirk.
Oh, that's a big one. Yeah, that was Coach Chiswick's favorite play. So we called it for him, and it worked.
Was it 55?
That's really nice of you to say.
Yeah.
You could have taken all the credit for that.
No, that was his play.
Was it 55-45 loss? Maybe?
I didn't like that one. No, I didn't like that one at all. All right, anything else? All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Coach.